Getting everything straight. Greetings, greetings, brothers and sisters. Peace and blessings. Peace and blessings. Get started, y'all. Get started. Y'all see the title, y'all. Y'all see the title. You know, I've been talking about Judgment Day a lot. You know, again, it ain't gonna be nothing I haven't said. I forgot to tag my brother. Hold up right quick, y'all. Hold up. Hold up. So ain't nothing new, y'all. No, I ain't. I gotta tag somebody, y'all. That's whole Cort, y'all. Cort used to be my nickname. Cort used to be my nickname, y'all. Still is for some people. So let's talk about the Chief of Justice, y'all. Let's talk about the Supreme Court, the Supreme Measurement. You know, let's talk about these things, y'all, because as I told you, I've been commanded to judge and make war. Now, that's what the Father commanded servants to judge and make war. So we judging and making war right now. All right, thank you, brother, man, thank you. So right now, the Father commanded us to judge and make war. Why? Because it's an evil world, full of darkness, no light. So we judging darkness. You know, and judgment, y'all, is simply correction. That's why many people gonna make the sacrifice of a fool in these days, because they don't want to be corrected. Now, one thing you never see about a judge, you never see a judge with a weapon. But many brothers telling me, man, where your guns at? Why you ain't got no guns, man? You gonna need this, you gonna need this. You gonna need this, you gonna need that. But a judge don't need no guns. Judge need his voice. You know, he need his vocal cords. Judge got to open his mouth. But he don't need no guns. He don't need no guns. He need a courthouse. But we're not talking about an earthly judge. We're talking about the judges the Father sent. So earth is our courthouse. So we judging the world right now. These facts, y'all, I'm finna read it to y'all. Clear facts. And the Supreme Court, they tell you to put your hand on the Bible, huh? That's what they tell you to do when you go to the Supreme Court, huh? So all their laws are backed off by the Bible, right? Where the real judge back to take his seat? Chief of Justice. What we finna talk about, y'all? That's what we finna talk about. So I'm finna read, I'm gonna read first, y'all, out of John. Now, I already let us know that Jesus was gonna be born in Babylon. The man y'all call Jesus, or the man y'all think is in this book, or the man, you know, y'all, all this was gonna be happening in Babylon. These facts. So all this is going on in Babylon, aka spiritual Egypt. So I'm in John 5, y'all. I'm in 5:18. It say, for this reason, the Jews tried all the harder to kill him. Not only was he breaking the Sabbath, but he was even calling God his own Father, making himself equal with God. So when the Jews wanted to kill, which was going on today, y'all. You know, they wanted to kill, that would simply mean kill information, y'all. That's like not mean pick up a gun, but that's kill information, man. It say, so Jesus gave them this answer. I tell you the truth. The Son can do nothing by himself. He can only do what he sees his Father doing. Because whatever the Father does, the Son also does. So the Father was walking the earth right now, what the Father be doing? Everybody say God, when God gonna walk the earth, or when the Anunnaki gonna walk the earth. We are the Anunnakis. But all this talk, when all these kind of beings gonna be walking the earth, what they gonna be doing if they walking the earth? judging and making war. What the book say. But let me keep going. It say, for the Father loves the Son and shows him all he does. Yes, to your amazement, he will show him even greater things than these. For just as the Father raises the dead and gives them life, even so the Son gives life to whom he is pleased to give it. So the Father giving everything to the Son, huh? Moreover, the Father judges no one, but has entrusted all judgment on the Son, that all may honor the Son just as they honor the Father. He who does not honor the Son does not honor the Father who sent him. So the honor is just the information. Just like you listen to a song, be like, man, that's my favorite song. If the word coming out of my mouth is not your favorite song, then you don't simply love God. But I'm just going to keep reading, y'all. It say, I tell you the truth. Whoever hears my word and believes him who sent me has eternal life and will not be condemned. He has crossed over from death to life. The Passover or the crossover. I tell you the truth. A time is coming and has now come when the dead will hear the voice of the Son of God, and those who hear will live. For as the Father has life in himself, so he has granted the Son to have life in himself. So again, the Father granted the Son life. Then the Father gave the Son all judgment in his hands. Whew. Cold day, huh, y'all? It say, but like I tell y'all, it's finna get hot. And he has given him authority to judge because he is the Son of Man. As in the days of Noah, we'll be in the days of the Son of Man. We told y'all we got invitations. How many people are accepting? Do not be amazed at this, for a time is coming when all who are in their graves will hear his voice. Ain't this the valley of dry bones? So this is when the voice of God was going to come speaking to get them dry bones up. God ain't speaking in this book. God's speaking now. Chief Justice, Chief of all justice. So it say, do not be amazed at this, for a time is coming when all who are in their graves will hear his voice and come out. Those who have done good will rise to live, and those who have done evil will rise to be condemned. By myself, I can do nothing. I judge only as I hear, and my judgment is just. My grandfather is just see. The people that just see God. We don't see the world. Matter of fact, we don't see no judges. The only judge we see is God. That's why we are just, and when we do judge, we judge on his standard. It say, for I seek not to please myself, but him who sent me. That's why I lay down my life. I didn't want to please myself. But that's just something to warm us up, y'all. Get us started for what's prepared for Judgment Day. As the Father commanded all his servants to judge and make war. I don't know how many times I can say this, but everybody get confused with this New Testament and how things go. That's why it ain't going to be no hiding these days, and ain't going to be no running from God in these days. It ain't nowhere you can hide. So just what I read to you in John, I'm finna read to you in the Apocrypha. The man coming up out the sea. As Moses told you, Moses came down the river. Now a man coming up out the sea. Moses told you God was going to raise another prophet up like me. We must hearken and listen to him. I ain't write the books. And I don't care if you don't listen. But no, I gotta read something out of Matthew. I might have forgot it. But it say the Son of Man has authority on earth to forgive sins. I think that's in Matthew 12. But we read these things. I don't never hear nobody talking about this, but the Son. I'm in 9 and 6. It say, but so that you may know that the Son of Man has authority on earth to forgive sins. So the Son of Man gonna be on earth? Yeah, he gonna be on earth, because that's where he raised up from. So right now he's not on the earthly standard, he on the heavenly standard. So he got authority to forgive sin. That's why he's Chief of Justice. Chief of Justice. Supreme Court. The coat with many colors. The rulership of all nations, y'all. Ain't nothing I ain't told you before, but I told y'all sometimes this stuff got to be broken down. So everything gonna go through his son, just like the Father told y'all in these books. So y'all, I'm gonna read a little bit out of 2nd Esdras if you got the Apocryphal. Another 14 books that was so-called removed out of the Bible. If you get the Ethiopian Bible, you will cover those books. If you get the Encyclopedia, you will cover those books. But if you get the 1611, you'll also cover those books. Well, I was reading out of John and 6. But right now, I'm finna go to the 2nd Esdras in the Apocryphal. I'm finna read 13. John 6 was a warm-up for 13 because people like to run away. They want to say Jesus already done this. I read, it might have been John 5. Yeah, I read John 5. You can start at 16 through 23. That'll be a better read. But that was a warm-up for what I'm about to read in the Apocrypha. 2nd Esdras 13. Because people like to use this Bible and run with it. They like to run everywhere. You know, they like to run everywhere with this. But it lets you know who judge is. Because the supreme judge was going to come in the last days, y'all. Say the house of David going to be like God, y'all. What would God do if he was on earth? Judge and make war with everybody who ain't just. So I'm in 2nd Esdras 13, y'all. This is a dream of the last days, a vision. The same vision I just read to you in John. What I'm about to read to you in the Apocrypha. It say, and look, I'm going to start at verse 2 and 13. Because I'm going to start at 1. It say, and it came to pass after 7 days, I have dreamed a dream by night. And lo, there arose a wind from the sea, and it moved all the waves of the sea thereof. Now let's stop right there. Because what is the sea, y'all? See, the sea is the people. That's why this man is being raised above all people, y'all. So when I say I'm judging everybody, I'm judging everybody. Everybody. Let's go to Matthew. Let's go to Isaiah. That's 17 and 12. Let's start at 17 and 9. I'm in Isaiah, y'all. It say, in that day, there are strong cities which left because of the Israelites will be like places abandoned of thickets and undergrowth, and all will be the isolation. You have forgotten your God, your Savior, and you have not remembered the rock, your fortress. I'm sorry, y'all. I need to start at 12. Because I'm talking about the seas. It say, oh, the raging of many nations. The rage like a raging sea. So the sea parable that I'm reading you in Esdras is the people. Because this is the many nations that's raging in these last days. It say the kings of the earth going to be running. The princes going to be running. Also, I can read the same thing in Matthew. I just like to give y'all these teachings, and so when you're reading this Bible, you won't get caught up. Like many people are so caught up. I'm in Revelation 17 also. 17 and 15, it say, then the angel said to me, the waters you saw where the prostitute sits are peoples, multitude, nations, and languages. So when we talking about this man coming up out the sea, this man being raised up above all people. Ain't the Supreme Court? It's the judicial system, or the judicial matters, or the judgment matters of all courts. Well, that's the earthly standard. Well, now the heavenly standard here is to rise above this earthly standard that we on, y'all. The Constitution. Because the Constitution label us an animal. So the Constitution is the mark of the beast. Because we not animals. We upright men. So he said, and lo, arose a wind from the sea. That means that's that whirlwind. And it moved all the ways thereof. I gotta give y'all these precepts, y'all. And then I'm gonna read. I ain't gonna stop no more. I ain't stopping no more. I think that's because I always read this. I'm in 6 and 15. The kings of the earth. I'm in Revelation 6 and 15. The kings of the earth, the princes, the generals, the rich, the mighty, and every slave and every free man hid in caves and among the rocks of the mountains. They called the mountains to fall. They called the mountains and the rocks, fall on us and hide us from the face of him who sits on the throne and from the wrath of the Lamb. For the great day of the wrath has come. Who can stand? This is what I'm about to read, y'all. One teaching. So it say, the whirlwind came upon the sea, y'all. It say, and I beheld, and lo, a man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven. And when he turned his countenance to look, all the things trembled that were seen under him. So that means every earthly standard, y'all. When I say every earthly standard, the Supreme Court standard, the law standard, whatever standard you put in front of me is below me. Every standard, I'm on a heavenly standard. The one my father sent me to bear witness and bear record to. So, that's why I read to you all the kings, all the princes was going to be high in this day. And whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burned that heard his voice, like as the earth falleth when it filleth the fire. The fire from heaven, huh? To burn up what? All altars. If you ever built an altar of God and said you was offering the bread he gave you, you're going to burn up in these days because I'm going to prove you a liar. So what you going to do? That's all you can do because you're a liar. So everybody burnt up when they heard his voice. Because first thing they're going to say, who gave this nigga authority to say what he said? If you stay longer, y'all, I give it to you out of book. If you don't want the book, as always, I can give it to you word of mouth. But this show, can't nobody run. I'm trying to make all these babies put their hand over their lips when they're walking down the hallway. Because they're making too much noise. But 5, it's saying, after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of number from the 4 winds of heaven to subdue the man that came out of the sea. So they had people that were going to try to come subdue me, which means try to confound me, because I have rose above everybody on earth. Without school, without money, Without the so-called thing this world tell you need to rise above people, or simply put you on a higher standard than people. Well, this the bar or this the measurement that's going to be set for the whole world. Supreme Court. It say, but I beheld, and lo, he had graved himself a great mountain and flew upon it. But I would have seen the region or place whereout the hill was grieving, and I could not. So the mountain that I come on, that I'm flying to, it's higher than all mountains. So if you're on your mountain, you can't get there. So when you coming to try to talk to me, war with me, I can't see you. It's all it's saying, y'all, man. This is all it's saying, man. So I say, but I would have, I'm sorry, I meant 8, 13 and 8. Second Ezra 13 and 8, y'all. And after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were so afraid, and yet thus fright. And lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand, nor held a sword, nor any instrument of war. Again, you don't see judges with guns. So again, my brothers, I don't need no gun. I don't need no bombs. I don't need no rocket launchers. I need truth. You need truth. I got truth for you. So the war is the art of war, which is we doing everything with our mind. We masterminds. We the maker of all things. We gonna make man in our image without picking up a gun. We gonna teach people without picking up a gun. We gonna judge the world without picking up a gun. It say, or any instrument of war, but only I saw that he sent out of his mouth, and as it had been a blast of fire. So it say the word cut deeper than any double-edged sword, huh? Cut deep, y'all, huh? To the bone gristle. To the bone. So it's just like a bullet. But it's just a righteous bullet. It's a righteous bullet, y'all. Cut all the way to the bone marrow. So we don't need weapons. We need truth so we can speak it. It say, but only I saw that he sent out of his mouth, as it had been a blast of fire, out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests, and they were all mixed together. The blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which were prepared to fight, and burned them up, everyone, so that upon a sudden of an innumerable multitude, nothing was to be perceived, but only dust and smell of smoke. When I saw this, I was afraid. Afterwards, I saw the same man coming from down the mountain, and called unto another peaceful multitude. And there came much people unto him. Wherefore some were glad, some were sorry, some of them were bound, and some brought to them that were offered. Then was I sick, though great fear, and I awakened and said, Thou hast showed thy servant these wonders, and from the beginning thou hast counted me worthy that thou shouldest receive my prayer. Again, this was a vision that was shown to Esdras about the last days. But this is also the vision that I read to you in Matthew. The same vision. So I'm going to skip down because now Edris is asking for the interpretation of the vision. Let me skip down. I got to start at 20, y'all. It say, yet it is easier for him that is in danger to come to these things than to pass away as a cloud out of the world and not see the things that happen in the last days. So right now, if you got money, you got a comfortable job, you simply got a comfortable living, then it might be hard for you to see these things because it might be hard for you to recognize a nigga is God. It's going to be hard for, that's what the destroying the black man was all about, to destroy the image of God. But no, it's called death before dishonor, before we let that happen. So the real lambs are back to stand up. The ones that were slain and wore the grease of our forefathers, we back to stand up for God, for our Father. So we're going to stand up and speak this truth that's going to destroy Babylon and give us rulership of the world. Supreme Court, y'all. So let's say, I'm going to read it again. I'm in 13 and 20, second Esdras. Yet it is easier for him that is in danger to come into these things than to pass away as a cloud out of the world and not see the things that happen in the last days. And he answered unto me and said, the interpretation of the vision shall I show thee, and I will open to thee the thing that thou hast required. Whereas thou hast spoken of them that are left behind, this is the interpretation. Some more. It say, he that shall endure the pearl in that time had kept himself. He that be fallen into danger are such as have works and faith toward the Almighty. Know this therefore, that they which be left behind are more blessed than they that be dead. This is the meaning of the vision. Whereas thou saw the man coming from the midst of the sea, the multitude of people. As Moses told you, the Father was going to raise another prophet up like him. So the sea is the people. The same is he whom God the highest had kept a great season, which by his own self shall deliver his creature. And he shall order them that be left behind. And whereas thou sawest that out of his mouth there came a blast of wind and fire and storm. So this weather, the weatherman, all that's coming out the mouth, y'all. The fire, the storm, and the wind is coming out the mouth. And that he held neither sword nor any instrument of war, but that the rushing of him destroyed the whole multitude that came to subdue him. This is the interpretation. Again, you never see a judge with a gun. You never see a judge with a sword. You never see a judge with an instrument of war. But you do see him speaking and judging. God's son is back to judge and make war and speak. And I ain't have to sell my soul to get my message out. I just had to send and jump on the synagogue with everybody sending that and start judging. He made it just that easy in my days. Behold, the days come when the Most High will begin to deliver them that are upon the earth. And he shall come to astonishment of them that dwell on earth. And one shall undertake to fight against another, one city against another, one place against another, one people against another, and one realm against another. All these rumors of wars, huh? And the same time shall be when these things shall come to pass, and the signs shall happen, which I shewed thee before. And then shall my son be declared, whom thou sawest as a man ascending. I just read to you that in John. So all this talk, y'all, about this book talk, we walking the earth now. We setting up the Supreme Courthouse. We judging the earth. Everybody got to come pay homage to the sons of God. The real Jews. Stop sending money to the fake Jews. Stop bowing down to the fake judges. Recognize when the God is in your presence. Woe to those who don't hear what the Spirit says to the church. So any questions, y'all? That's really all. I done read enough. I done read all I was gonna bring out, y'all. But any questions? Any questions, brothers and sisters? And again, don't believe in your constitution. That's the mark of the beast. Babylon set that up. That's why it's important to know just us was raised up in Babylon. So your constitution label us as animals. So if you living by the constitution, then you accepting the mark of the beast. We destroying the beast. So do I have any questions, brothers and sisters? Any questions? No questions, huh? Well, if I don't have no questions, brothers and sisters, that concludes the judgment. It will be more. So as always, I hope the Father has circumcised your heart and ears for the message, man. Peace and blessings, always one love for those who accept truth, walk in truth, and respect truth. What are the signs? We are the signs. God has given everything. That's why I read John. Everything is given over to God's sons, y'all. Don't be in your vain imaginations. I read John for a reason, and that's why I went in the Apocryphal. To show you the same thing I read to you in John was going to happen in the last days, and not as the book we has been deceived through paper and pen was going to happen the way they made us thought it happened. All these things was going to take place. But I just read one scripture in Matthew, sis. But John chapter 5. John 16 through, I did tell you the wrong verse. 16 through 23. John. But it say, the Father loves the Son and shows him all he does. 6 and 20. The Father don't show the world everything. They ain't the order of the Father. No, he picked somebody that's going to lay down their life for him. Just like people lay down their life for their country and all this stuff, you got to lay down your life for the Father. So the person who laid down his life for the Father going to show him everything. That's what I'm about to read to y'all. It say, for the Father loves the Son and shows him all he does. Yes, to your amazement, he will show him even greater things than these of this book. For just as the Father raises the dead and gives life, even so the Son gives life to whom he please to give it. So the sign is the sons of God, which is why I always come screaming, the Levites. Those are the people that set aside to bring you God's message. Those are the signs and wonders on earth. The signs and wonders in heaven is the sun and moon. You see how the sun gives light to the whole world? Well, God's son on earth going to be a sign and wonder because he's going to give light to the whole world. That's why he's been raised up above the multitude of the people. He's way brighter, way higher. The sun don't walk on earth. It's above earth. So all these things is why the Father word is seen through his creation. So mankind, man and woman, will be without excuse. That's the whole reason they call him God's son, because we look up at the sun, we see the sun shine bright than any other thing in this realm. So God's sun shine brighter than any other thing in this realm. So I'm not on here because I'm on here saying my shit don't stink. I'm on here because my Father sent me, and I do my work to please him. So it say, so the Son gives life just as the Father has showed him to give life, because the Father don't deal with everybody, but the Son does. It say, moreover, the Father judges no one, but has entrusted all judgment to the Son, which is why I read to you in the Apocrypha, 2nd Esdras 13. So the sign is just us. That's what the sign is of God. Bless those who can see. What I read is 2nd Esdras 13. It say, because this the last days, y'all, right here. If y'all, I read her, it's the last days, y'all. So that's what 13 talking about, so, and I'm pretty sure, sis, we're going to go over it, tomorrow, so. But, y'all, any more questions, man? Any more questions, y'all? You ain't got no questions? I don't have no answers, because I have told all my answers for the night, y'all. So, peace and blessings, one love, y'all. As always, man, I'm out.